Welcome back, everybody. It's Dr. Tony Chopper, and this is part 3 of my review of Char's Custom Zaku 2 version 2.0 Master Grade. In the first 2 parts, you saw the runners and the limbs. Now, let's see how these limbs combine together and how they look. Now, this is what he looks like straight out of the box. Now, this is completely unpainted, nothing's done to it. The only thing that I did differently than a normal one is put on the clear parts. But remember, you get clear parts for both the lower legs if you want to do it that way. But I chose to put on one side so you guys can see the difference between the two. Now, upon further inspection, the kit actually has a fair bit of detail, but you can't really see it from a distance. It's not one of those kits that wows you from far away. You gotta actually get up close and personal to actually appreciate it better. Especially the details on the back of the leg, the thrusters, and seeing all the little different things like the energy cables and the panel lines on the arms. Now I'm going to go over articulation when, the full thing's combined. You saw how the limbs work individually, but let's see how they work together. Starting off with the head. Head can still go up and down, go side to side because it's on a ball joint. Can turn 360 exorcist style, and the mono eye moves around when you do that as well. Now both shoulders can come up because they're on the same hinge mechanism, so they can do the same thing on both sides. They're just different. A little bit of asymmetricalness. The rest of the arms are completely identical though. They can go 360 at the joint here. Below the shoulder, another 360 bend. A 180 right here, right where the elbow is, and it can actually pop out a little bit forward, and if you do that you can pretty much touch the other shoulder. Actually, you can touch the other shoulder if you want them to, of course. Now there's a little bit of a bend right where the forearm is. That part is supposed to be a little bit loose, and it gives a little bit more mobility. Now, these are standard 2.0 Master Grade hands. It can go in a little bit like that and go out. The thumb, trigger finger, it's all segmented right in the middle, and it's a 3-finger trigger finger split with the thumb. Moving on to the waist, you get decent mobility here. It is on a ball joint, so you go side to side. You could do 360, but you're going to hit all the different side skirts here. Now, if we go to the back, nothing really changes here. The thrusters still move. They can go up and down. The flaps are movable as well. And here, well, I guess we can do it here. The back flap still opens where you can put the bazooka in there. It can actually move up quite a bit as well. This moves back. I think that's for the action base connector. I'm not too entirely sure. And there's also mounting points for the Heat Hawk and I think the assault rifle. Not too sure about that. Here and here. Now moving on to the legs, if you move the skirts out of the way a little bit, you can kick up pretty far, up until the skirt goes into the waist. The knee bend still remains, even with the energy cable, and you see the mechanical detail right here where the knee moves apart, which is pretty nice. The hip can rotate right below there, and it moves quite well there as well. The ankle moves back and forth, the toes can point, and they can also do that. Now, a couple things you gotta be worried about, or careful about, is this backpack. This backpack is very easily dislodged. It has weak connections right here to the back. It also has weak connections at this point here connecting to the backpack, and also here as well. There's not much holding on to it. It's easily removable, so you got to be careful about that. You might want to glue that in actually. These cables don't actually come off too much. They are springs, but they're generally really sturdy. Now for a quick size comparison. I have the Zaku next to another mobile suit from the Universal Century, and it's also in 1:100 scale, and it's a Master Grade. The Master Grade Senanju. Senanju is supposed to be a lot bigger because it's listed at 22.6 meters, whereas the Zaku is listed at 18 meters, but that's including the command antenna right there. So even with that, it only comes up to about the chest height, right where it should be. Arming up this kit is as simple as putting the peg into the slot where the weapon is. Now, after arming him with just the machine gun, you can see there's already a little bit of weight issues, especially with the shoulder here. If I bring him up like this, it's going to fall down. Now if I bring it up to the front, it's going to lop to the side. And that isn't exactly what I was, call sturdy. But if you push it in a little bit, it holds it a lot better, and off to the side as well, it fell out. Now, it is the same for the bazooka, but right here you see there's two holes, so you can put them in two different positions. One where you kind of just put it and tuck it underneath the arm, or you can hold it up a little bit at an angle and put it over the shoulder. No weight issues with the bazooka, but that's after you push in the shoulder a little bit. And the heat hawk is as simple as well. There's actually two different holes on either side, and I just put the connection on here, but you can store it right underneath here on the waist skirt, and you could technically also put it in the back if you want. You can also have the ammo pack on the side skirt as well. They all have a similar peg and hole system, so you can interchange the heat hawk and the ammo pack in between 1, 2, and these 3 slots for storage. Now you can also store the bazooka on the back. The panel that moved from behind before can now be opened up, and you can slide it right in there, and it holds it pretty solidly. Now lastly, if you take this small little panel here, move the back skirt away a little bit, and you push that back, see how it moves? You can connect it to an action base with the action base connector that they give you. Now with him on the action base, you can see you can pull off some decent poses with him. This is one of the more unimaginative ones, but you can recreate anything you want and just pretend he's flying through space trying to chop up Amuro in the face with his heat hawk. Yes, with an action base, you can pull off anything you want. And in true UC style, he does look better with a gun or bazooka in his hand. Pretty bad pose, I know. But, just an idea. Just an idea. Well, that wraps up part 3 of my look at the Master Grade version 2.0 Char's Custom Zaku 2. Now, don't forget to come back in the next part where I'll tell you all the good and bad, all the pros and cons of the kit, and whether or not you should buy this kit for yourself. So, this is Dr. Tony Chopper here, signing out. Peace, guys.